My name is Sarah Mitchell. I'm 29 years old. 3 days before my wedding, I found a folder on my own laptop that wasn't mine. My hands were shaking before I even opened it. Inside was a name I didn't recognize. My fiancé's photo, attached to someone else's life. I sat frozen on my bathroom floor at 2 a.m., scrolling through records that made my stomach turn. He was upstairs, asleep, planning our future like nothing was wrong. I felt small, stupid, like everyone around me had known something I didn't. But what I found that night wasn't even the worst part. There was one document buried deeper, one I wasn't ready for. Before I tell you what actually happened, if you're new here, please like this video and subscribe. And drop a comment below. Where are you watching from? Let me take you back to when it all started. For months ago, I didn't think twice about a text message. That was my first mistake. I met Daniel at a work conference in Chicago. He bought me coffee. He remembered my order the next day. Small things, big impact. Within 6 weeks, he said, "I love you." Within 4 months, he proposed on a rooftop in front of 20 strangers who clapped like they knew us. I said yes before he even finished the sentence. My mother cried. My sister screamed. Everyone said it was fast. Everyone said it was perfect. I believed them. Daniel worked in finance. Or that's what he told me. He traveled often. Called every night at 9 p.m., never later, never earlier. I used to think that was romantic. Consistent. Reliable. But here's what I didn't know yet, that 9 p.m. call wasn't about missing me. 3 weeks before the wedding, his phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. A name I didn't recognize flashed on the screen. He grabbed it fast. Too fast. He laughed it off. "Work thing," he said. I believed him. I wouldn't for long. The wedding planning moved fast after that. Venue booked. Dress altered. Invitations sent to 92 people. I pushed the phone thing out of my mind. I had a wedding to plan. Daniel handled the guest list from his side. 12 names. That was strange to me, a man who loved his family only inviting 12 people. I asked him about it once over dinner. "My family's complicated," he said. He didn't look up from his plate. I let it go. People don't like talking about complicated families. I understood that. His best man was a guy named Ray. I'd met him twice. Both times, Ray looked at me like he wanted to say something and stopped himself. At the rehearsal dinner, I caught him staring at me from across the room. When I smiled, he looked away fast. Later that night, my sister pulled me aside in the bathroom. "Something's off with Ray," she said. He kept starting sentences and stopping. I told her she was imagining things. But driving home that night, alone, I thought about it. 12 guests. A best man who couldn't finish a sentence. A complicated family nobody mentioned by name. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I called my best friend Priya. She's the practical one. The one who says what nobody else will. "Run a background check," she said. Just like that. No hesitation. I laughed at first. "He's not a criminal, Priya. He's my fiancé." "Then it'll come back clean," she said. 10 minutes. That's all it takes. I told her I'd think about it. I didn't mean it. That afternoon, Daniel canceled our cake tasting. "Work emergency," he texted. No explanation. I sat alone at the bakery, staring at 4 untouched slices of cake, and I felt something twist in my chest. I opened my laptop that night while he was working late. I typed his name into a search bar. Just his name. Nothing else. The first few results were normal. LinkedIn. A gym membership page. Nothing strange. Then I saw it, a listing under a background check site. His name. His photo. But next to it, a small line of text I wasn't expecting. Also known as. My stomach dropped. I didn't click it. Not yet. I closed the laptop and sat in the dark, hands cold, heart pounding. I wasn't ready for what I might find. I didn't touch the laptop for 2 days. I told myself I was being paranoid. I told myself a lot of things. Then Friday night happened. Daniel came home late, smelling like a bar I didn't recognize. He kissed my forehead and said he'd been out with Ray. I asked what they talked about. "Nothing," he said. "Guy stuff." He went to shower. His phone sat on the nightstand, screen lighting up every few seconds. I didn't touch it. I just watched it flash. Name after name. Notifications he usually silenced. That's when I made the decision. I opened my laptop again. Found the site. Typed his full name, his birth date, the city he said he grew up in. My finger hovered over the button. $29. That's what it cost to know the truth. I paid it. Report will be ready within 24 hours, the screen said. I closed the laptop and sat there, staring at nothing. 24 hours. That's all that stood between me and whatever I was about to find. I heard the shower turn off. I heard him humming. Like nothing in the world was wrong. For him, maybe it wasn't. Not yet. Saturday morning, I woke up before Daniel. I made coffee. I sat at the kitchen table and stared at my phone, refreshing an email that hadn't come yet. He walked in, kissed the top of my head. "You're up early," he said. "Couldn't sleep," I said. That part was true. He left for a meeting at 10 a.m. on a Saturday. I didn't ask questions anymore. I just watched him go. By noon, I was pacing. By 2 p.m., I called Priya. "Anything yet?" she asked. "No," I said. "But something's wrong. I can feel it." She didn't argue with me this time. At 4:47 p.m., my phone buzzed. "Your report is ready." My hands went cold. I stood in my kitchen, staring at that notification for almost a full minute before I opened it. The page loaded slowly. Too slowly. Every second felt like an hour. And then I saw the first line. Just one line. Enough to make my knees weak. It wasn't his name at the top of the report. It was someone else's. I sat down before I fell down. This was only the beginning. The name on the report was Marcus Allen Reyes. Not Daniel. Not the man I was supposed to marry in 11 days. I read it 3 times, thinking I'd made a mistake. Same birth date. Same city. Same face in the ID photo attached to the file. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. I scrolled further. The report listed Daniel Cole as a known alias. Not a nickname. Not a typo. An alias. The kind people use on purpose. I called Priya. She picked up on the first ring. "He's not who he says he is," I said. My voice didn't sound like mine. "Slow down. What did you find?" "His name. It's fake. His actual name is Marcus." Silence on the line. Then, quietly, she said, "Sarah, keep reading." I did. There was an old driver's license photo. Younger. Same eyes. Same crooked smile that used to make me feel safe. Below that, an address. Not our city. Not any city he'd ever mentioned. Somewhere 3 states away. My phone buzzed again. A text from Daniel. "Running late, be home by 7. Love you." I stared at those 2 words, "love you," like they belonged to someone I'd never actually met. Because maybe I hadn't. I didn't respond to his text. I couldn't. Instead, I searched the address from the report. It came up fast, a small house in Ohio, listed under the name Marcus Reyes since before I'd even met him. I zoomed into the satellite image. A house with a swing set in the backyard. A swing set. My chest tightened. I told myself it could be nothing. A rental property. An old roommate situation. Anything but what I was already starting to think. I clicked deeper into the report. Public records section. Property taxes filed jointly. 2 names on the deed. Marcus Reyes. And a woman named Christine Reyes. Same last name. Same address. Filed together for the last 6 years. I felt sick. I put my hand over my mouth and just sat there, staring at the screen, at a life I didn't know existed. 6 years. I'd known Daniel for 4 months. I heard his car pull into the driveway outside. Right on time. 7 p.m., just like he said. I closed the laptop so fast it nearly cracked. He walked through the door smiling, holding a bouquet of flowers. "Hey babe," he said. "Miss me?" I forced a smile. Always. I watched him set the flowers on the counter like it was any other night. He didn't notice my hands were still trembling. "You okay?" he asked. "You look pale." "Long day," I said. "Wedding stress." He bought it. He kissed my cheek and went to change out of his work clothes for a job I now wasn't sure existed. The second he was upstairs, I opened my laptop again. I needed to know who Christine was. It didn't take long. Her Facebook was public. Family photos. Birthday parties. A little girl, maybe 5 years old, blowing out candles. Behind her, in the background of one photo, a man's arm. Just an arm. Reaching in to help her blow out the candle. I zoomed in. The watch. I recognized the watch. It was the same one Daniel wore every single day. A gift, he told me once, from his late father. My stomach turned. I scrolled faster. More photos. Christine and the little girl at a beach. Christine and the little girl at what looked like a school event. No man in most of them. Like he came and went. Like he lived 2 lives on 2 different schedules. I heard the shower turn on upstairs. I had 11 days left before I was supposed to marry him. I barely slept that night. I lay next to him, listening to him breathe, wondering how many other women had lain exactly where I was lying. The next morning, he left early. Meeting in the city, he said. I didn't ask which city. The moment his car left the driveway, I called the number listed for Christine Reyes on a public directory site. My heart pounded so hard I could feel it in my throat. It rang twice. Hello. A woman's voice. Tired. Normal. I froze. I hadn't planned what to say. Hi, is this Christine? I asked. Yes. Who's this? My name is Sarah, I said. I think we might know the same man. Silence. Long enough that I thought she'd hung up. Then she said, quietly, does he go by Daniel now? My whole body went cold. How did you know that? I whispered. Because he did it to me too, she said. 6 years ago. I sat down on my kitchen floor, phone pressed to my ear, listening to a stranger describe my own relationship word for word. Same rooftop proposal story. Same 9 p.m. phone calls. Same lies. Christine talked for almost 40 minutes. I barely said a word. She told me about their wedding, real, legal, never annulled. She told me about the daughter, now 5, who still asked where her daddy went. She told me he disappeared for weeks at a time, always with an explanation. Work trips. Conferences. Emergencies. Then one day, 2 years ago, he stopped coming back at all. I filed for divorce, she said. He never signed the papers. Never showed up to court. That meant one thing. He was still legally married to her. Which meant our wedding, 11 days away, wasn't just built on lies. It was illegal. My hands shook so bad I dropped the phone. I picked it up just in time to hear her say one more thing. Sarah, be careful. There's more. I found things in his old boxes I never told anyone about. Financial stuff. People calling the house asking for money he owed them. What kind of people? I asked. She hesitated. The kind that don't stop calling, she said. I heard his car pull into the driveway again. Right on schedule. Like clockwork. Like a man with nothing to hide. I hung up the phone and stood frozen in my kitchen. I had 11 days of research now sitting in my chest like a stone. 11 days, and I still hadn't said a word to him. I decided that night. I wasn't going to confront him at home. I wasn't going to give him the chance to charm his way out of it, the way he'd charmed his way into everything else. I invited him to dinner. Our favorite restaurant. Public. Neutral ground. He showed up in the suit he planned to wear for our engagement photos. He smiled when he saw me. Reached for my hand across the table. I didn't take it. Sarah? What's wrong? I slid a folder across the table. The report. Her name. The house with the swing set. The little girl's photo. His face changed in real time. Color drained. Smile gone. I can explain. Marcus, I said. He went still. Don't, he whispered. Christine says hi, I said. He didn't deny it. He didn't even try. He just sat there, staring at the folder, at the life he thought he'd buried. You don't understand, he finally said. I was going to tell you. After the wedding. I almost laughed. There is no wedding, I said. I stood up and walked out. I canceled the wedding the next morning. 92 guests. One phone call to the venue. A refund that would take 6 to 8 weeks. Daniel called 11 times that day. I didn't answer once. Christine and I stayed in touch. She was already working with a lawyer. So was I, 3 weeks later, once I understood how deep it went, the debts under my name he'd tried to open, the credit inquiry I found buried in my own report. He'd been planning to disappear again, just like he did to her. I never confronted him a second time. I didn't need to. I'd already gotten every answer I was going to get. 6 months later, Christine sent me a message. He'd resurfaced in another state. New name. New woman. Same rooftop proposal story. Apparently, someone in her friend group recognized him from a photo. I think about that sometimes. How many rooftops? How many women sitting exactly where I sat, believing every word? I kept the folder. The report that cost $29 and saved me from a marriage that was never legal to begin with. If you're watching this and something feels off, trust that feeling. Some folders are worth opening before it's too late.